Hello, I think we're live. Yes, Emma Collins is live now.
Yay! Let me just turn. Oh, how do I turn this off? I'm going to turn my phone off so it doesn't ring because it makes such noise when I do. Right.
Could you do the gallery view so they can see us both at the same time?
Oh yeah. Sorry, we're a bit late because I needed to go and get a coffee. It's all very relaxed around here. I'm not brilliant at timekeeping. And then my coffee's in, I didn't realise it took 5 minutes to make a coffee. Honestly.
Very small coffee making
skill.
skill.
Oh, I know. I'll leave 5 minutes before.
Right, thank you everyone who's joining. We already have lots of people joining. Essentials first. Hi, Sharon, Essentials first. We are really excited to be live here doing this image critique again for our lovely community. It's really just getting image critiques. I think it's a really important way to learn, and I wish that was around when I was first starting. You have different eyes on your pictures, and that will kind of help you see the things that you wouldn't normally see yourself, because as we talked about many times before, we can sometimes get so attached to the image that we don't see the wood for the trees. And yeah, so hopefully this will be helpful to people and sort of give you a glimpse of what it's like to have a mentor as well. Remember, turning chaos into art. Our group mentoring program is open for enrollment right now, and it starts in January. And we're really excited about it. There's only a few spots left. So if you're interested, do message us and we can answer any questions that you might have. Are we ready to go, Emma? Or do you have anything?
Should I? Have I got them in Photo Mechanic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right, let me
Hi,
just.
Alice. Hi, Stefana. Hi, Sassy. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Nina. Hi, Heidi. Hi, Mercy.
Right, I'm just going to share a Photo Mechanic. Does that mean we can still see us in the corner? Yeah.
You should be able to, yeah.
Okay, so we've organised these this time as, we're just going to go through person by person, I think, this time, rather than, we mixed it up last time because we were worried we wouldn't have enough time, but we did everyone anyway. So we thought it's kind of nice to see all of one person at the same time, because sometimes there's some repetition in style notes and things like that. Also, hopefully at the end of it, we're going to put time codes, so if you can't watch live, you can find your bit easily, just look at your own.
Yeah, but also it's important to look at, I think it's really useful to look at other people's, because you might pick up some really good tips. And also, I should rephrase it, but we've taken a couple of pictures out because of nudity, because we are afraid of Facebook shutting us down. So apologies.
If you know, there's only 2 or 3. If you notice they're not there, it's because of Facebook rules, not because we didn't like the picture or anything. Just we can't show it. So this is Anna Meta. Have we said that, or have I said that correctly? Sorry if I haven't.
What was also first name?
Yeah. So Anna has sent 4 images in. This one I think is the strongest of the 4. It's a nice straight-on composition, and the use of depth of field is good here because it's isolating them from quite a complicated, and not particularly necessary background. You've got a bit of a moment going on. This particular, I really like this one here on the little girl's face with the drip coming down. And when you look at a picture longer, you start to see all the details. And I like this evenly spaced teacups or hot chocolate cups. And I like that it's not absolutely perfectly symmetrical. And the teddy on the table from the little girl and her kneeling rather than standing just indicates that she's a bit younger compared to the boys. They're all doing something. He's examining his spoon. These 2 have got, a mid-mouthful. And even though he's facing forward, he's not looking at the camera. He's looking somewhere over to the left.
I would be like, obviously this is something that kind of went on for quite a while. So I'd be tempted to see if they do something stupid.
Yeah.
Or like they spill something or fight over marshmallows or whatever is in there.
Yeah.
And I'll also be tempted. I mean, I like that you can see that they're standing and she's kneeling, but I also be tempted to maybe shoot up to get the sky rather than the background, like for even cleaner composition. Like get this picture and then get a variety of like shooting, completely isolating them against.
Yeah, I mean, on this one, I think for me, she's the hero of the shot, and she is off to the centre. And maybe again, because it's cute that she's kneeling and she's got the teddy, and you know, like her little fingers splayed out. This all makes you realise she's younger. And maybe, you do a tighter, some sort of. I can't do a great crop here, but where you're showing, I don't know, somehow showing that she's smaller. I don't know how you can do that because I don't know if that works, but she's really cute on here.
Yeah,
I think it shows it pretty well, actually. I do like this, but you're right. It would be interesting to see what happens next, because this is you know, that they're all into their hot chocolates here. And what happens in 5 minutes time when maybe something else happens.
Yeah, well, there's something inevitably will.
Sorry, like my mouse sometimes does that.
Something inevitably will happen. Someone will spill something.
Yeah, or someone's got something left and the other wants it. You know, they could, or they splash each other. I don't know. Something might happen at the end of this.
By the way, I should say, if you're watching your image is being critiqued and you have any comments or like want to share what happened on the day, what you were trying to do, feel free.
Yeah, because it is really annoying if you're listening to something and we're saying, oh, you shouldn't
have done that. You're like, no, I couldn't have done that.
I couldn't step back anymore. There was a wall, or it was really, really dark. So I had to use the slow shutter.
Yeah, for sure. And if you have any comments or questions as well, just I'm keeping an eye on my phone. Okay.
So this one,
I think it's a lovely moment. I like that her tongue is stuck out.
this I mean, it's again, the little girl is the hero of the shot. With her, she's mirroring her dad, or I presume it's her dad, but the composition and the angle isn't quite right for me, because you're seeing too much of him, and his face is a funny position, of a funny expression that he's making, and also the way he's tilting his head. So again, maybe it's a case where you shoot up a bit more and bring yourself slightly more around to the left, so you're getting both their faces in profile against because it looks like there's sky behind them, and get more sky behind rather than his shoulder and hand here. I mean, she's got a nice silhouetted shape here.
I like that she's sticking her tongue out.
I love the tongue. The tongue's really cute. And
I love the light as well. The light is really beautiful.
Yeah, looks like a late autumn evening, doesn't it? But this is where the action's going, and she's the cute person, and half the picture is taken up with the dad's shoulder and hand. So the balance isn't quite right. Although this is obviously, this looks like it's been centered here on the ice cream.
It doesn't.
Actually, this is the really interesting bit where her tongue is sticking out, and maybe just that shift slightly round to the left. Yeah, balance that out more.
The ice cream and the dad would be like on the third rather than in the center. So like third.
She'd be more the focus then.
And by the way, like also something that we need to say, I guess, pre-phrase, like we're giving critiques so you can improve going forward, right? It's don't take anything that we say personally, basically.
Yeah.
And sometimes also worth remembering, sometimes it's just not possible to get the picture, especially entry approach. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, and it's fine. It happens to.
And sometimes when it's your own family, and it doesn't work out, you don't care because you're attached to it emotionally anyway.
Yeah.
So equally, if you're doing this for a client and it's not quite right, then maybe, but it's good enough to include as more of the whole story of what happened on the day or the session.
You will
But
include
it wouldn't
that.
be one that you'd pull out for a slideshow or for a portfolio or social media or something, you know. So it doesn't mean that it's not gallery worthy. I think his face isn't quite right for this to be the focus of this picture. Next one.
Yep.
So
Some ladders like we've never seen before. I've never seen the tiny version of snakes and ladders.
Yeah, printout version. I like the fact, so one of the things I like about this is the dice is on the phone, which is quite cool. But that actually isn't in focus. I wonder whether if you'd have gone more top down to get this all in the same plane, that would have been more in focus.
I wonder if it's like an improvised, like they were stuck somewhere and they had to like make it work or something.
I mean, I like the angle of all the limbs coming in different sizes, but I feel like it needs a little bit more of them. And I like this diagonal here, up here. I
want more. I think
I want more. Yeah,
the angle of that.
Just slightly wider. If you hold it really high above your head, the picture, and do a few shots. Because obviously you're look. What are we on here? What type of? It's a 50 mil. So you've got the trouble with 50 is you can't really close. If you can elevate yourself either by extending your arms or getting yourself on a chair and then extending your arms, even if you're shooting blindly, I do that all the time because it gives you a different angle. So
I would probably, if I shoot blindly, I would up the aperture so it's not too full. Like maybe a chance of like actually getting something in focus if I'm doing that. I mean,
you've got a little bit of movement going on here as well. It's not quite sharp on this finger where the penny's being dropped. And if you look at the settings here, you've got ISOs really low. That could be bumped up loads, and then you'd be able to have a fast shutter and a higher aperture.
You're right by the window.
It is really useful to have a higher aperture because it throws so much out. Yeah, definitely. I mean, shooting blind is a great way of getting a different angle. You have to take quite a few shots, and it might not work out. You can just keep trying. Yeah, it gives you a really nice. Especially for someone like me, I'm really small.
Yeah. So, well, even I do that. So, but what I'll do, like, I raise not so much now with the Sony because you can kind of see what you're doing, but with a Canon, I would raise it and like just move it ever so slightly.
Yeah. But just keep refocusing. If you've got like a center point focus,
just focus
to be
focus shot.
The best for me. I think center point focus seems to work if I'm doing that, because then at least you know what you're hitting in the middle of the frame is going to be in focus. Because otherwise, like with the Sony, it seems to pick whatever's closest, and Canon just can miss. Entirely. But yeah, I think it would be nice to get a little bit more, like, to see these teddies a bit more, to see a little bit more of this person.
Foot. I'd like to see that foot in the boutique.
To see this slipper, because the slippers are really nice and colourful. I mean, maybe even if it was portrait shot that way as well, I don't know. Just interesting to see. There's not quite enough of their to tell a bit more about the people. This one. So
it's a lovely moment.
It's a sweet, quiet moment.
He's probably upset, I think, and she's comforting him.
I think the problem for me is this bright patch up in this corner. I would have either come round so you're shooting more with the mum in profile and the boy more full on, front on, and then you can backlight it, and get the exposure for his face.
So it will be like mum's profile.
Or you crop it closer in. I wonder what it looks like if you take that light out.
And sometimes it's the case of like you grab this shot because that's what you saw, I think, And then you go, okay, so I've got that now, in case they move or in case the moment is over. I've got that now. What can I do to make it better?
I mean, I would bring these highlight. Personally, I think this takes the distraction of that bright spot out. And often when you've got these quiet moments with a parent, you don't need to see the parent's face. You know, you can tell what the parent's doing with just a hint of their face. And it's like, I like the dividing line of half and half of her and him now, with a long frame, and the greys and the oranges. But I would bring this down in post, the highlights up here.
Or even make it black and white. It doesn't have to be colour.
Yeah, black and white is quite nice for this sort of quiet moment.
Yeah. And like here, the focus is all on his face and his emotion, and I don't, like, my eyes not really moving. My eyes goes to maybe to her lips, and that's it. And I keep going back to his moment and thinking, like looking at his eyes and thinking what he's thinking.
Yeah, this is sweet.
Taking that distraction out, yeah. So that even just cropping it like that makes it already much, much stronger.
Yeah.
Charlene, you're here, I think. So feel free to comment. I love that.
I love little girls or little boys, whoever it is, little kids when they're putting makeup on. It's so cute.
And she's grabbing the lipstick like
really
almost.
It does. It looks like is she doing this like blindly, or is she actually looking in a mirror?
Maybe there's a mirror, because the blur, I think the blur in the corner is the mirror.
Yeah, it looks like a plant, that, 'cause it's green. It does look like she's looking at herself in something.
Yeah.
It would be quite nice to flip it so that you get more context of what she's. I love this. Don't get me wrong. She would. Yeah, so yeah. I love this. This is really great. You could also do a super close. It would be nice with a. Because this is the funny bit. If you had a close up of that, is nice.
More anonymous picture, like more.
Yeah. You know, with the hand coming in from this corner.
Obviously, when we do that,
then on the third, that's really strong compositioning. But equally, it would be nice. I mean, this is just like, you know, what other shots you can do. Doesn't if you took it from the other side of her looking in the mirror, so you can see her concentrating face, and then you can get, I don't know how big the mirror is, even if it's small, and then the room around it, and maybe shoot with it not quite so shallow. So she's obviously in the kitchen as well, which is quite nice to show that from the other angle. And here I think it's right to blur out the background, but it might be nice as well to get.
She did flip it for another image, so she did flip it for another one, and the mirror hidden behind the plant. So yeah, it's a very expensive makeup too.
Sorry.
Apparently, it's a very expensive makeup set. So.
What's because she's also got green on here. Is that felt tip?
I think it only adds to the picture.
Yeah, I do. I love that. It almost looks like she's got a scratch on her chin here as well, which is quite cute. It's really cute. I've got a picture of Elsie like this.
Yeah. So yeah, the portrait is great, but as you said, Emma, like to have a more environmental portrait, it would be nice to kind of like include more of the room in it as well.
This becomes more classic portrait.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the whole person and a blurred out background. You can do much more, you know, a detail sort of an anonymous shot, or more contextual environmental portrait, which actually adds more points of interest to what you can look at in the picture. And I don't think that's this angle, because it's just the kitchen behind it. But if you're doing it from behind with maybe a bit of her, or not even any of her, and you're just catching the picture of the little face in a mirror with everything else around it, then it's kind of giving a little bit more story of what's going on, which I like. I like incorporating context. I think it strengthens a shot, makes you look at a shot for longer.
My one thing with this particular frame is I'd be tempted to crop the dark area on the left-hand side.
A little tiny bit, yeah. Oh, sorry, my mouse again.
Oh God. Just to kind of make it cleaner. But otherwise, I think it's really cool. Yeah.
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 It's slightly distracting, that bit, that panel down that side.
Right. Any parents?
It's a bit greeny to me. Is this greeny to you?
Huh?
Is this a bit like, it almost looks like it's got a sort of greeny yellow filter on it?
It does. Yeah, it doesn't look like pure and white.
Yeah, I'm quite fussy about things being just white. This is another sweet moment. It's nicely, I haven't got the shutter and aperture and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually like that you can see a bit of the dad looking at her. The only thing I'd say, I feel like it's slightly softer than the ear. I think the tissue in the nose looks slightly softer than the ear to me. Wonder if it's because it must be on quite a shallow depth of field if he's so out of focus. I feel like this is the bit that really needs to be in focus, and it's slightly off.
Yeah,
I would also say in terms of the balance of the frame, I like, oh, bloody thing. I like centre composition.
Yeah.
But I think in this case, the balance of the frame isn't working so well with centre composition.
A bit of dead space.
Because this is dead space over here, and he's quite interesting. I like his round glasses, and you can see that he's looking at her and the job that he's doing, wiping this snotty nose. So I would be tempted to bring, if you slightly shifted it, or even just cropped it, then this comes more on the thirds, and you lose this, which isn't doing anything. It's making me look over here, even though all the action's on this side. So, oops, sorry.
What's the mouse?
Sorry. I'm doing it wrong.
There you go.
So a bit more, bring it like that, because then you've got a bit of edge tension where she's coming off the frame, because he's coming off the frame, so it makes sense that you don't need to incorporate.
But then if
the
I
whole
was
head.
shooting, I would have just shifted it, obviously, to
In reality you would shoot like this, but then you're getting this on the third, which is the sweet moment. This needs to be a bit sharp. I would definitely shoot this. It does look dark, but I would be, if you could have done that, I would have shot this at a narrow aperture to get all of this front bit. You're so close that whatever, even if you're using a wider, narrower aperture, it's still going to throw out the background, and you'd have more of him in focus, which I think would be quite nice.
Yeah, and also actually another like editing thing, I would bring the highlights down a little bit on the face, because it feels like really bright in comparison.
Yeah, it feels a little bit burnt out on this. The tissue's slightly burnt. It looks a little bit burnt around here on this S. Okay. This one.
Yep.
So
it's nice sort of feeling of walking, to in the woods, and I quite like it's kind of monochromatic, but it's obviously not.
Yeah.
You can see the outlines of the bodies really well, which is important.
I love these sort of silhouette-y sort of shots. It's a nice, it gives variety. But I think you're obviously going downhill here, which makes it difficult. But I don't know whether if you could get a bit closer, because it's cutting off their legs, because you're going down. It would be nice to see their whole bodies and shoot up more at them. I don't know whether that was possible, because it does look like you're going downhill. But I think that it's so these two pillars from the trees are so strong, and they're slightly off centre. I would probably
Yeah, that actually bothers me. So how about
bothers
try and
me.
crop it? Can you try and crop it so that we don't see the sky and we just see the water and the pillars? I think, and they're centered, and that might be actually really interesting.
So that takes it more central, which
Yeah.
already feels more balanced to me. Were you saying go closer?
Go closer, so you just cut just along the line of the water. See what that looks like, and obviously then, you know, crop the rest of it as well. Oh, that's interesting. Charlene is saying it was a really steep hill. I took
it looks steep.
Listen, I took the shot before falling down after them.
So this, I think, because you're shooting slightly on an angle and you're getting the soil here. That's, I feel like
include the soil a bit.
Yeah. I know what you mean. This distracts me, having the horizon line here with too much sky above.
Such a straight line.
I think if you have less of the bright above, it's less distracting.
Yeah.
I have seen some other, you took some other shots from this, Charlene, haven't you? Where you've got like the tree more like that, haven't you?
Oh, that's interesting, actually. Yeah.
I'm sure I've seen some other ones from this series, but I can't quite remember what they are. I see. But I reckon you've got loads of different possibilities of what you can shoot here. But I feel like I've seen some of them, so I think you have. But yeah, certainly on something like on something like this is just off center, and it's definitely bothering me. And that's it's really easy to correct that even in post, because it's a fractional change, even if that's all you do.
Yeah.
And because they're so strong, those lines downwards, they need to be evenly spaced. So this is really sweet. You know, it's what you do in autumn, but it's shot like a portrait. So it actually looks, from the movement of the leaves, like either someone's thrown them over or she's thrown them over herself. So I feel like if you're taking it with a bit of movement, I'd pull back and get slightly more of what's actually going, and try and get a moment of it happening. But here, I mean, for me, the really interesting bit is having the leaves in the hair. I'd go much closer in, actually, and
I love the eyelashes.
like that. Somehow. So that's then funny, isn't it?
I would almost be tempted to, again, shoot up at that bit. So we're not saying pop it in post, obviously. We're saying shoot it like this. So like going up so you can see more of the trees and less of the ground. So leaves, and then her eyelashes and the leaves on her hair.
Yeah, I really like the leaves in her hair and the way it's all caught in her hair. So somehow some interesting shot, and you get the different texture of the lines of the hair strands and the texture of the leaves, and actually the colours are quite similar, so it becomes sort of more monochromatic, and that's quite interesting then, and abstract. Or a crop like this where you've got her eyes, but that's quite a sweet crop. Not crop, same crop, because it's the framing is probably the word. But obviously cropping this much from a picture is not advisable.
Right, next.
But I like the idea of this because so I'm getting just enough of the fact that it looks like there's balloons, so that's why she's got static, but I need more of that story in this. That this black on this side is dead space, and it's stopping me seeing the ends of the strands of her hair, really. So pulling round, so you've got all of her hair against the... I like the idea of this being a silhouette, by the way, because you can really see the...
It's kind of a different way.
But it's slightly missing the detail on this side of her head, and this black chunk here isn't doing anything. But I do appreciate having the balloons in the front to explain the story of why her hair's like that. So I think pulling back and coming round a bit so you're getting more of the balloons and all of her hair would be more effective. Because this is a classic balloon static hair. It only happens with balloons and trampolines, this, doesn't it?
Really, this is not a trampoline.
And it's not a trampoline, yeah. So it's shot with, it doesn't say. Yeah, but I think it works as a silhouette. It's just a slight adjustment in
composition,
in composition, and it's the sort of thing where if I feel like the moment would go on, she's not bouncing or move. I feel like you get a shot and then you can move, and as you're taking it, be aware of the edges of your frame and what's happening, so you've got a shot so you don't lose the moment. But if the moment is extending beyond that fleeting second, shoot again to be improving in your head as you're shooting. It's like, oh god, this could have been better, let me move myself around.
Take the shot and then build on that, basically.
So this is Christine Passler. Now we've moved on. So I love the idea of shooting through things. It contextualizes an image from a different point of view, from the foreground rather than just the environment you're looking at. But I'm not sure this is the right moment. I like all of these downward lines. It's telling me it's in a playground, but I'm not sure it's the right moment to be using this as a frame, because we've got this big red circle, which I assume is a frisbee. That's just then, what she's doing is not connecting you to the frisbee, and this is quite dominant in the frame, and all of it's behind these lines, so it's not quite work. I mean, I would perhaps do a photo shot through these chains without the frisbee. If you're shooting the frisbee, I think come away from that. Sometimes, like, it's really tempting. You feel like you have to take interesting, exciting ideas and compositions and things, and sometimes if you're catching some action, something like this distracts from the action, and you don't need to complicate it. There's a frisbee match going on, so catch the frisbee match with arms throwing or catching, and shoot through. It's going to happen over and over. Shoot through, and you'll get some shots that are better, or do shots that have just got the hands and not the body. There's a good example actually later of someone who's done that.
Christine just commented saying, we were playing frisbee golf and I was shooting through the...
that's the golf thing, yeah.
Okay. I don't even know what that means. So.
Yeah. This is the golf, this is the net that catches it, yeah.
Right, I see, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so...
I wonder, because the red is so dominant, I feel like is the black and white going to be better? I
feel like if you had shot, often with something like a basketball shot, you get, like, if you shoot up and you can see the frisbee the basketball going into the net, something like that might have worked. It's not quite working for this moment, shooting through the net.
I think because she's not, it feels like we need either extended hands or something. Like, she's supposed to throw. I get that, I think. I don't know. It's a bit, but also what I was thinking, I was looking at the settings. So it's 28 mil. And I think for shooting through things, I kind of want to be zoomed in a bit more.
Yeah. This is an aperture 5. I think you almost need to.
It kind of it's effective that way. If you're going to blur the foreground, then more compressed composition with a longer lens might actually work better.
And also, even like this, the post is quite distracting because it's solid compared to the chains, and it's quite dominant in the frame. Just another teeny weeny little thing, actually, which is not just a comment. Keep an eye on your edges, because you've got a teeny weeny bit of chain here down this side, which is super easy to check in post and remove by cropping.
And it will be okay with the documentary perspective anyway, because you're not really changing that much.
It's not changing. You're taking a teeny fraction off like that, which cleans this edge up. And even up here, you've also got some bright white, so you could even kind of bring it down. Even that looks a bit stronger, I think. If you
What would happen if you crop it? Like, obviously, we're not going to crop it, but crop the post out and see if composition improves.
Yeah. Hold on.
So if it was a longer lens and you shot like this and the moment was right, I think that might have worked better.
It's so dominant, this red frisbee, and it's not really explained by what she's doing. But if you're playing a game, you're going to have other opportunities. So examine what you've done and think, how can I do it differently? How can I explain what we're doing? Have a look at shots that people have taken of things like basketball to get some ideas of what you can do for this sort of thing, because I think you could get some really interesting shots, but it's not there in this picture. And even if you're taking it more from an edge of her throwing into the net, and you're getting an arm throwing the frisbee flying and shooting upwards with the frisbee going into the net somehow, or near the net. So you're on a flatter plane then, so you've got them all in focus. That could be quite interesting if you're shooting up to the sky. I think there's certainly opportunities with an activity like this to get some really interesting shots.
Also, can I just say, for things like that, use a long lens so you don't get hit in the head.
Yeah. And that your camera doesn't get hit as well.
Especially with plastic things.
Yeah, because they're quite vicious, aren't they, frisbees?
I've photographed a game of rugby golf as well. And what's with the frisbee golf, rugby golf? But yeah,
there's football golf as well.
I made sure I had 100 mil.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway.
So.
Love the colour.
The colour palette's really nice. You've got oranges of the skin and the wood and the ground, and these little touches of blue, like the blue chair, blue, looks like a game, blue nail varnish, blue costumes. The colour palette's really nice here.
Bang on colour theory, yeah.
Let me just, I feel like if you just tighten the composition on this particular moment and took out that bright white, that is more pleasing to the eye. But I feel like you need to shoot through this a bit more, because it's just a sort of floppy moment. There's no tension. It's a little bit of tension. Oh, sorry, my mouse again. There's a little bit of tension in her toes rolling over here, but really you want her toes pressing off as she's jumping, so you've got that tension of something that's captured in the moment. And maybe you'd have to pull back a bit, because it's on a 35. You're really close to the 35 to be this big in the frame, and there looks like there's going to be some more space from the pool if you come back, because then you've got space for her to be moving into, or even just her feet pushing off and the rest of her body coming out of the frame wouldn't offend me.
Are you in the pool there, Christine? I'm just wondering.
Is Christine in the
Yeah,
chat?
she was in the chat, yeah.
Should we go on to
Yeah, let's go to the next one.
So this one, I'm not quite sure why it's shot from inside the car.
Yeah, she said she was in the pool there, yeah, okay. Yeah, this one's, I kind of think I get it, but that's what I'm reading into. Like, that would be me sitting in the car waiting for them to be done with the fishing. Already.
I mean, fishing's a long activity. There must be other things you can shoot than, because if you're using something like you're shooting from inside the car, you need to use the window as a frame. And here,
Whole thing, yeah.
it's not a frame. It's just a bit at the bottom. You've got a lot of dashboard at the bottom, which is telling me it's a car.
Yeah.
And this slight reflection up here, which it doesn't seem to be adding anything to it. I'm not sure why. I feel like there must be loads of other interesting things you can get from fishing than from inside a car. But if you're going to use something like a window, use it as a frame properly, so you've got actually the edge of the window included all the way around.
Yeah. And then what the set, and then can we see? Oh, it's up to 5. Yeah, but we can't quite.
The way that the windows on cars are angled means that the light comes in and it's really this sort of ugly bright patch of dashboard at the bottom, just because the light's hitting it from above. Yeah, okay. I think getting out of the car and in with them is going to create more opportunities for.
Well, Christine is saying I had been outside for most of the fishing, and then we were wrapping up. We were winding down here, so this is like a winding down kind of shot.
But it's not. I don't feel like it's saying winding down though, because they're still on the water.
In the car with the whole window, that would be nice. Finishing shot for the gallery, I guess. Like if it's
maybe they're packing up the car with stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
My favourite thing about this image is the way that their body language is mirroring each other. So they're both leaning in the same angle and picking something up.
And their faces look so similar. Like
yeah.
Very often with babies, because they look like any other baby, but here you can like totally see the profile.
Yeah, I don't feel like the room is adding much here. So and the moment of those two is really cute. So maybe going closer, or
shooting up.
You need to go down and shoot up a bit more, because at the moment his arm and the baby's head are actually touching each other. So I want to see them separated. I want to see the separation of them. And I'd also, I mean, this to ISO 4000 5D Mark III 2.2. I would go a higher aperture here if you could, to get the dad more in focus, because their body language is really sweet. And
you could also, what is it there? So ISO 4000. So the shutter is quite slow as well. So you could up that maybe by upping ISO a tiny bit more.
It's quite bright, isn't it? I think you could lose a bit of the brightness.
It doesn't have to pretend that it's brighter than it is, basically.
Yeah. If it's in a dark room, it doesn't matter if the picture looks dark, because that's actually what it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could like shoot from almost from a level of the sofa, slightly left.
Because then you're at the baby's height as well, which is more, especially if you're focusing on the baby, be at the baby's height, because then you're telling it more from that perspective of the baby.
Yeah, and more square up to the action, like slightly
Yeah.
yourself towards them. Yeah, which would mean getting into a very uncomfortable position and bending over the sofa.
Okay, it's gone. Christine, okay. So this is another one where I feel like we've got dead space on the left, with too much going on the right, on the right. So you either need to step back to incorporate more of the right and shift yourself around a bit to lose some of the left, or focus in so you're not getting these people on the right.
It's the case of like, once again, grab the shot where everyone is in the picture. Now
Adjust.
make it better. What can you do?
You're a bit overexposed here at the back. I think your ISO's height could come down. Must be quite bright to have these settings. Yeah, I think ISO can come down to stop the grain a bit, but it is quite grainy when you've got a narrow aperture and a reasonably fast shutter speed. I think the interesting bit is the little boy and the cat, and the cat's hand and the toy. I wonder if you came from the other side, so you're looking at the cat and you haven't got the distraction of the bright white background and the people in the background, but you've obviously got light coming onto the face of the cat from the other side because it's facing the window. So if you're sitting around the other side and you're focusing, you could get some quite interesting shot, I think, where if you position yourself somewhere here with the little baby's podgy hand and the dangling thing and the cat reaching out to get it.
That might be an interesting one, yeah.
So this is not it, because I would shoot it from the other side. But that's the bit that's interesting, isn't it? More. But I think this is really bright, the window, so it's terribly distracting. Even if you took it's difficult to take that out. It's a slightly funny angle that this is shot at, but personally I would go the other side. I think you've got enough light coming in the window onto the cat's face, which should actually throw the room that's behind the cat would be thrown into darkness. It would be quite a cool shot then of the baby playing with the cat.
Christine's saying, I love that suggestion. So yeah.
So like Antonina was saying, take this shot, that's fine. Then take more shots moving yourself. So correct this, and even on this take, it's tricky to take out some from this because if you take out the left, you're losing more of the cat. Maybe, I mean, you could take it more like that, and that loses some of that dead space over here. But this white is very distracting because it's so bright. I think you would be really successful from the other side. That would be a good shot. It's a nice moment. So work it. Okay. So this is Stefana Farrell. Farrell? Sorry.
I don't know, Stefana, sorry. It's one of those things when you read the names, but you rarely pronounce them.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So I know Stefana, she's in the States, and she photographs in the Disney parks quite a lot. So we can see that from the, she does vacation sessions.
So I wonder if this guy is just a completely separate guy in the background, or if he is part of their
I don't know.
Team.
I don't know.
We've got the apertures and things.
If he is the dad, then it would make sense that he is in the
Yeah.
picture that way, and that's like a good way to kind of have some sort of introductory shot of the gallery, or like establishing type of shot.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely establishing the surroundings. You've got the reference to Disney here and in these little markers on the...
I didn't even see that. That's a Mickey Mouse, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Mickey Mouse, which is quite nice. And yeah, motion's always good. You know, they're obviously playing. The colours of the red, blue and the green are nice together here.
Oh, it's funny. It's here. She's saying he's my husband. So, okay.
Is it? That's cool. Yeah.
And these are your kids then?
And that then, really, knowing that really adds to the story, because the dad's doing his golf and the kids are playing, and that's funny. You know, he's literally paying no attention to them.
Which, you know, that's interesting, because it kind of goes back to this idea of like, sometimes we need to know more about the picture to like really appreciate it, which sometimes means that you probably won't put it on the website, because someone who doesn't know that will not understand it. But if it's like your own picture, or if it's in the gallery for the client, they'll totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the difference comes.
Yeah.
What you
and then, you know, the framing is nice with them on this square or angular. Is it like an obstacle course or something, or is it a bench?
That black thing
on there, is it a bench, or is it like a obstacle course where they can be playing?
I don't know,
because I like it when kids are doing things they're not supposed to do as well, especially if the dad's ignoring them in the background. So I don't know if there's any way of showing a little bit more to show that they are doing what they're not. And actually, I've just noticed as well, now I'm looking for, if you look underneath there's a golf club tee and golf ball.
Yeah.
Maybe if you go down a bit more and you can see that that's been
left there.
Also, yeah, I don't know how you can incorporate that to show that they've rejected the golf in favour of doing this, because that then starts being even more like funny.
Yeah, it's funny saying he's waiting for the tee off.
Yeah. If you just come down slightly so you can really see the golf club. I know it's a tiny detail.
Sometimes I don't see them until I've like looked at the pictures on my screen.
Yeah. Oh, no, we obviously like this picture though, because we're sitting here talking about it for quite a long time, so there's lots to look at. So little things like that, if you because the top of the club is just slightly cropped off, if you go down slightly and you see that as well, that's another little detail that you can start looking at.
Yeah, and I do like the movement here, because it's like an interesting, it's a good storytelling technique to kind of show that they are running, and he's so still.
It just shows the chaos. They're doing something perhaps that they shouldn't be doing, and dad's ignoring them, and it's funny.
Okay. Oh, the sea. When I was looking at it for the first time, do you see behind him how the water is dripping? That's the water dripping off the board, isn't it?
Yes, actually that's interesting, because I have only just seen that, because I think it's a bit overexposed. I think if you bring the exposure down, then we'd see those drips more.
Yeah, because he's fresh. It's either raining. Is it raining?
Raining? Because this person's hiding under something as well. I wonder if it's raining.
Yeah, because you're right.
Yeah, because you can see the splashes in the. If you look, the splashes.
That's really cool. So he's in the rain. So
I'll definitely bring the exposure down.
Yeah, so you can see
so that you can really see the detail of the rain, and maybe deepen your blues as well. Because even in black and white, if you bring your blues deeper, darker, then you'll see the clouds more.
Yeah. It was a quick storm, Stefano is saying. Yeah.
Yeah. But the other, I would also take a quick, as well as, I like this nice composition, and I like, so actually if you bring your exposure down so you can really see the raindrops, then it makes sense that he's like this, and this person over here is hiding. Yeah. But I would also take a shot looking up at him, so you've got a really clean sort of portrait-y type shot with drips and things, so up.
Well done for shooting in the rainstorm.
Yeah.
That's
That's like, you know, not quite that, more
Yeah.
upwards, but just so you've got a really clean shot is nice as well.
Like joyful, like he's obviously covering, so he's not fully embracing it, but he's really enjoying it.
Finding it funny. Beaches are great for up shots looking up into the sky, because there's nothing ever just like no distracting things.
Oh god.
Roller coasters.
Just thinking of how you took that shot makes me slightly sick. But you do those shots, I know, and very brave.
I love the hand movement. I know obviously you can't move around in something like that. So I'm not gonna.
Oh, just more than that.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could get it so that you can see his arms and head as well?
Yeah.
But you're not going to be able to get up and move around. So
I think that's you have a similar shot on a pre-corona, obviously, of a family on a roller coaster, and they did that ride didn't have the arches, so I think you could see the fact like there wasn't a limitation to what you could do.
Yeah, I mean, I do love the bright primary colours. There's lots of yellow, red, and blue, which is lovely. I quite like this arc of the track underneath the arc of the feet as well, and the angle. It really feels like so you don't have to have motion blur to get the feeling of movement, like and dynamic angle. Can do that for you, and this being on an angle, you can really feel like you're going into the picture. And the mask, actually, that's a good touch to get, you know, that not only does it add to the blue, red, yellow thing, it contextualizes it in terms of date to this year, doesn't it?
Yes, the only thing that bothers me is that his head is obviously blocked. Like I don't know.
You just can't do anything about that. I think in this sense, you're shooting from moving.
Unless you can go, like, if you have a camera with a flip screen, if you can go lower and I don't know. I don't even know how you do this. So like, I'm gonna shut up.
And like, because you can see from the front that this is like in the way.
Yeah.
And you can't hold your camera out when you're going around like that.
No.
This is.
No. You should film.
Way more interesting, isn't it? Like if you've got a shot like this where you're shooting within the carriage, looking back at somebody, it's amazing how much more interesting it is where you feel like you're on the ride. You know, the ones you get, like, you know, they're always trying to sell you pictures from the camera that goes off when you go through a certain point. And they're always really rubbish and from a weird angle. This is so, I feel really much more like I'm in the ride with them when they're shot like this. Is brilliant.
Stefania saying, I was wondering if Moment got me past the hand crop. I can't go lower. So she can't go lower.
There's enough on here that I really like it. I'd say, I don't think it's one that you can quite put on your website or anything like that because of the dominance of this guy being cut off, but I still would definitely give it to a client because the little girl is great and the colours are great and the dynamic angle is great. So there's a lot I like about this. Sorry,
if you can hear someone's doing some DIY outside, I apologize.
Oh, oops, sorry, my mouse again. It's oversensitive. This was the one I was talking about actually before. You know, when we were talking about the frisbee.
Oh yeah.
And how you can angle it so you've got a bit of a limb and the object, and this creates a really nice minimalist frame.
When I saw that picture, I straight away thought about that Pete Souza photograph of the Obama on the plane with a rainbow. And
yeah, I love this. I don't know whether it shows enough on Facebook, but there's a little rainbow here that's really, it looks like the hand is throwing out a bit of a rainbow. It's really pretty.
And then kind of the kite kind of repeats that motion a little.
Yeah, it's going in that direct, that arch there and there, and the colours are lovely.
And again, it's like yellows and oranges in the rainbow and the same in the kite, which is really nice.
Feels like pure summer.
Yeah. It's one of those abstract shots that kind of really set the mood.
Yeah. I love all these bright colours in your work, Stefana. Sorry, I'm calling you Steph. I don't even know you, Stefana. Makes me feel like I'm in the States in the summer.
Yeah, well, which is what she is.
Yeah, exactly. Really, but it really gives that feeling, doesn't it? These saturated bright colours,
Yeah.
primary colours. So this one, we haven't got camera settings, but I feel like it's not motion enough and it's not sharp enough. So either bring your shutter speed down and chase them to get more panning or movement with them, or sharpen it up so you capture it still. The other thing I like this thing they're running in. I don't know what it is, like this structure, and this bit at the top. I think it's definitely right to take off the skyline, but I'd be tempted to take. This is just busy, and it's like cropped off the top of the hat, like the little roof and the trees.
Yeah.
I think if you, because these make a really nice natural frame. These things here. I feel like that, especially if it had a bit of movement or was sharper. I think that feels.
Yeah, I would probably not even worry about those frames. And like if I was shooting, I would just embrace the grass and the fact that they're wearing those sort of kind of primary
colours. It's lovely against the red and the blue and the green is lovely.
Yeah, for sure. And would try and just focus not so much on the surroundings, but on the joy and the movement and the emotion.
I was going to say, the other thing is if you move yourself slightly round to this point here, so you can see the connection between them, because they're actually laughing at each other, which is really sweet.
And I think he's also wearing sunglasses.
You can just see it. So that's quite cute, isn't it?
So basically, in this scenario, just run after them.
Yeah. I don't know what the shutter speed was, but get a little bit slower. So if you run with them, see, there's panning where you go watch something and move like that, but there's also if you pan when you're moving in the same direction, that gives a really nice feeling of going of movement.
Yeah, so you're kind of moving at the same speed as they.
Yeah, and going in the same direction as well, and you get like a feeling like you're running.
You're there with them, yeah.
Like you're in the moment with them. It's really nice if you pan in that direction. So this, hold on, this is going to somebody else. This is on to Greta Doe. There's someone at the door, so I'm going to leave you with Antonina.
Okay. Stefan is saying, got it. Yeah, it happened fast because this friend saw him running and ran up to him. Yeah, sometimes things do happen fast. So we're just going to wait for Emma to come back. But if in the meantime, if anyone has any questions, feel free to pop them into the chat. If anything we've discussed so far you want to ask about.
Right, sorry, we've got 3 birthdays in the house in this week, so I'm having deliveries. Last minute present orders because I'm not reorganised. Sorry, what did you say already?
I just read Stefana's comment that it was a friend that ran up to basically the moment happened really fast with the and I said if anyone has any questions that can ask.
So this
there's actually, well, Nina is asking out of curiosity, I wonder if most of the photos are of photographer's family or are they client work. I think there's a mix of
I think there's a mix.
And Katie's asking, will we be doing it again? Maybe. We don't know yet. We'll have to check our diaries. It just it's the availability issue. Right,
so this is Greta.
Who's a fantastic photographer in Ireland.
So for me, this doesn't quite work for various. I can see why you're attracted to this moment.
Yeah, light is beautiful here.
Because the light's really lovely.
Light is what is probably the
it's a light. The reason for this photo is the light. So because the light's really beautiful. So that's what you need to be thinking about when you're composing it. And at the moment you've got sharp tablecloth and chair, and the bit that's interesting is the fairy wings and the light coming through the fairy wings, and that's out of focus, and she's running through that.
And it's not like blurry enough for it to be motion blur either.
It's just running out of focus.
Yeah,
out of focus plane. It's not motion. There's no motion. It's to do with the plane of focus, isn't it? And you've got all this space here where not much is happening. Again, like we've said before, so make sure that you've not got dead space. And the other thing is, like, so this is the interesting bit: the light coming through the wings. Even if she was still, that would still be pretty. But she's not in focus, and she's going behind this chair as well. So I think you need to adjust the positioning of you.
I would be tempted to square up to the door and get the wings and the head.
I think that literally needs a really tight shot on those, because the light through the wings is really pretty.
Yeah.
I appreciate she is moving at this particular moment in time, but I'm wondering if there might be an opportunity.
So as we always repeat their behavior, so they, you know, if you run out, chances are they will repeat the thing over and over again. I mean, there are some kids, like mine doesn't really repeat stuff, so I have one chance with it. But others, most kids do.
Because you've got all this sharp, you know, this black chair, which is very dark because of the contrasting light, and the plant and this chair and the tablecloth, that's all in focus, and none of it's important to the picture.
Yeah.
This is where you need to be. Yeah. So this one, I
think it's a nice idea.
It is a nice idea. So what you've got here is so when the right amount of stuff is going out of the frame, it actually creates a nice tension to the image. So I quite like that this bit is coming out of the frame, but this bit up here is not adding anything. It's a distraction. See, so it needs to be slightly different. It needs to, this top bit needs to go. And because you're getting this fabric at the bottom is going out of the screen and the legs of the doll, I would also take, I don't know whether you can twist it slightly. I mean, this orange thing's a little bit distracting. I don't know how you can get rid of that.
You kind of either want to crop both legs or the bottle, which, I mean, it's distraction, but it's not as distraction as the furniture. And obviously, again, we're showing this so you frame it in the moment like that and not necessarily crop it after the fact, although some little cropping is okay, just to clean up the edges. But when it's that much, you need to kind of get it right.
I mean, this is slightly distracting, this orange thing. But
I think you can include it. I think it's less distraction than
less distracting than the enormous white thing at the top. I quite like the dolls, the thing that's facing you. That's much tighter if you take that out like that.
Yeah, and I like that they're looking at each other, but also I can't see the settings. But it does bother me that the girl's head is out.
The girl's head is out of focus. Yeah. So the doll, which is quite significant because the eyes are at you. So I feel like it should be perhaps
it should be higher,
aperture.
narrow aperture. Yeah.
The colour palette again on this is quite nice.
Yeah, works really well. Yeah.
So this isn't quite working for me. Again, this is one issue here for me, again, is the aperture, where it's too shallow. So you've got focus on here, but not on here. When you're really close to something, if you're on a low aperture, it's really easy for things to be thrown out just because of the way that the aperture works. It's a narrow focal plane. So you really need a narrower aperture to make sure you're getting, oops, there we go again, this knuckle in as much as that knuckle. So
I feel
that being said, I'm not quite sure the moment's there for this. It looks like, I mean, it's a great routine shot for day in the lifey type stuff where you're doing, you know, hair, teeth, that sort of thing. But the position of her hands is kind of like she's just grabbing her hair a bit. I don't know what, there's other points where her hands are perhaps looking a little bit more elegant or...
Well, I'm actually, what I'm seeing just with the position of the girl's head is that she's actually probably like kind of like going like that a bit.
Yeah. Maybe you need to see that, because the other thing I was going to say is this little hand here is distracting.
What is it?
Look what she's got in her hand.
But I just feel like this is a shot where you need to include more of the girl's face and maybe go profile.
Yeah. Well, maybe if you go above, so you're looking at the mum's hands from above and what the little girl's hands are doing. I don't know. It's not. There's this again, this dead space thing. You've got this dead space up here and around this corner.
I feel like there's also not enough good light to kind of like separate the hair from the jumper of the mum.
Yeah. But again, that needs a narrower aperture so you can see the hair strands and all of the lines on her hands and things.
And like if the light is good, then you can literally just include the hair, and you don't need the ears or anything like that. Then it's the sort of the separation is really clear, and especially if it's in color. But I think in this scenario, it needs to be just a wider shot to include the girl and sort of show what's, because I think she's
in a different angle. Like
I think she's in pain here, of her hair being entangled or something. And
yeah. I think the story is that I don't know, is she in pain or is she not enjoying it?
Well, yeah. Because it just reminds me, because my son is growing his hair now, and it's like every time I try and even like touch it, he's like, no. So that reminds me.
Lots of space up here, and it's cropping at a funny place down here where you've just got a weird hand, a little bit of ear.
It's not quite there yet, but keep working.
It's not quite. But these sort of pictures about general everyday routine are really important to have in a day in the life. So
this is basically
keep doing these sort of shots.
Not a website shot.
Yeah, keep doing these sort of shots. Find
because they happen. They would if there's a girl, if the family has a girl or a boy with long hair, that would happen on every shoot if it's a longer shoot. So just keep looking.
The other thing is that like the way that shot, I can't tell, is it in a dark room with a light? I can't tell because it's in black and white. Is it a light? Is it artificial light? Because the oh, sorry. It's so dark. The hair and the body are so dark, and then you've got the bright hands. So I don't know whether you can stand in a different position where it's actually the light is catching the dark stuff to bring them to life more, rather than having a sort of black void.
Yeah.
But it may just be that it's artificial light that's flattened it. I don't know.
It does feel like artificial light to me, but
yeah, it does. It feels like it could be to me as well. Yeah. We often say shoot up, and this is slightly shooting up, but it's not the right moment to shoot up. I think you need to be, if anything, shooting down on it or pulling back a bit, or losing the top of the picture and bringing yourself down. Okay, so this one,
hide and seek or whatever it is, what the kids do that a lot, I think.
I would bring the exposure down on this because this is too bright, and you need to be able to see a little bit more of the shadows behind here. I like this hand sticking out because especially the way it's joined onto this rabbit and the sweets, the flow of that. Actually, I'd really love a picture of just that.
Yeah.
For this particular setup though, where you've also got this, actually to me this is, having seen it now like that, I really like this bit. That's really sweet.
Yeah.
But you're cropping too much,
No,
so it's not quite straight, this
not straight.
well. So
first thing that bothered me, like, it's
this lampshade slightly bothers me. I feel like, yeah, that white bit down there on the bed, it looks better if you're removing that.
Yeah. And straight.
And I like, without the ceiling, it does need to slightly straighten up there. If you do, like,
I mean, I think
need to get this rabbit in.
Yeah, I think you could stand more square to the window in this situation.
Yeah.
I think the rabbit would still probably be in, depending on like where you stand. And then it might be better. But also sometimes those shows just don't come together. Like, it just happens that you try and it just doesn't happen. Maybe because there's two of them behind it, was there a moment where you could, obviously the hand and the rabbit is one picture, but if you keep shooting, maybe there were two shadows behind that curtain, interaction between each other or whatever, or like something sticking out. I think you could just shoot more and adjust as you shoot, sort of kind of go more square.
And bring your exposure down, straighten it up. Think about what's interesting in the frame. Lovely bit with the hand, the rabbit. And that, we just come back out again. This, this bit on the bottom here needs to be, removed, this bright white patch, because that's distracting your eye downwards.
It's really strong sunlight.
Yeah, it's really strong sun. This one, picking noses is always good. But I think because the picking nose is the funny bit, I'm not sure you need the
surroundings,
setting and the surroundings and the mum's back and things. I think, this is the funny bit, isn't it?
And the curls, don't crop the curls.
Something like that, where sorry, way too cropped, obviously. But that's the funny bit, isn't it?
And if you if you almost zoom in, I don't know what the lens is, but like you can zoom in and then we'll sort of separate it a bit more from the mum.
Yeah.
If you had a longer lens, like a 50, like portrait lens, or just coming closer with a 35 or whatever you have. Focus on that girl. But it's a lovely portrait. But yeah, the dead space is not helping here.
Yeah, and especially it's very overexposed, the dead space on this side as well. And like, the mum's not doing anything. But
can you crop it not so close, but just crop away the white, so we can see like even just a slight adjustment.
Oh, stupid. Sorry. That funny thing, that black bit up there, I'd take out as well. That little bit here. So
you can just lower it down and then
bring that down.
Yeah. I mean, not perfect, obviously, because we crop and post the picture, but like you could compose it that way.
But I'd love to get even the other thing, she's going up her nose. It's like really up there. If you're really shooting up and you've got that feeling going up her nose, then it'd actually bring a bit of comedy to it.
Yeah. Yeah. She's so pretty too. And her mum is like earrings and then she's doing that. Yeah.
And you can just tell that the mum looks like she's laughing here, but it's not part of the picture, so
yeah. And
I don't know how, unless she was fake, like laughing more in that direction where you got the profile.
Yeah.
Not adding to the story. It's all about her nose and her finger. Okay, so this is Malin Ljungqvist.
think she's in Sweden. So Malin, we had to take one of the pictures that you submitted because there was some nudity in there and we were afraid of.
Which was really cute, by the way, but we can't show it.
Yeah.
So I really like the mood of this, the light.
And the mess.
The mess.
Yeah.
It feels like a really
like
nice kitchen. In fact, she's got loads of equipment that I'd like. I love this coffee maker. I like that.
It's like, it's interesting because like there are some kitchens that are really messy and it's not attractive, but this is attractive mess.
And even with the you can see she's got plants in her kitchen. So what I would say though is that it looks like she's doing washing up, but she's not actually doing anything. She's kind of in a mid moment. I think if you're going to get this shot, she needs to be actually doing the washing and maybe some splashing, some there's a splash as she's putting something underneath the tap or something. Because at the moment she's just it's almost like she's pausing and having a thought, and it doesn't go with the picture.
The composition is great, right? The composition, there's a bit of dead space on the right, but like overall, the composition is really good.
Slightly. Oh, sorry, my stupid mouse. I have to change the sensitivity of the mouse. I would, just slightly take it in here because there's a couple of bright things on the very edge here. If you lose them, so you're going down this panel of wood down here, it wouldn't be pulling your eye to that side of the frame as much, and she'd be slightly more. She's not centre and she's not on the side here either.
And the light is nice on her face. Just wait for the moment when she's doing something.
Because it isn't lovely. The lighting is creating a nice mood.
Yeah.
But there isn't a moment.
Yeah. Almost there.
Yeah. This is cool.
This is what I do a lot. We have so many.
Really cool.
Oh my god.
I think this is too bright on this side.
Yeah.
It's like there's a slight matte finish to it, which is perhaps concealing the fact that it's overexposed. But it's really nicely sharp on this bit here.
And you can see exactly what he's doing. Like you can see his face watching that spider.
Yeah, I like the eye contact on there, but this is definitely overexposed. I don't know whether that's something you could have corrected in post.
Could you crop a bit? Probably.
Possibly. I'm going to try. I'm just looking at
a bit of space there.
The ISO is high. I think the aperture for me actually works on this because it's really making you look at the spider.
That's what the picture is.
Position of the spiders. You don't want to crop too much because the position of the spider is really good.
Yeah.
But the shutter speed I think could have been higher perhaps. Let's just try cropping a little bit because you could probably crop a bit of him as well to keep the spider in a good place.
But if you if the shadow went up a little bit, then it wouldn't have let as much light in, and it would have been a bit. It kind of throws the balance off here if you crop it like that, I think.
I prefer the composition with the
light.
Spider where it was, but it is definitely a little bit overexposed for me.
And also feel like because it's by the window, clearly, you don't really need ISO 2000, do you?
No.
And that would have been again like
it's the light. It's close to the light, so the light is going to be cast onto that. So the exposure, it would actually be really lovely to bring the exposure down. I think it would create some shadow as well as the light, really bring your eye to where the spider is, which is in the light.
But
cool.
Apart from that, it's really cool. Good composition.
I like that it's on this magazine with the cakes as well. Actually, that kind of adds to it as well.
It's like, you going out of this house, I'm not going to kill you, but you're not staying here.
But I don't know if it's blown or whether it's not blown. It looks like it's possibly blown.
Because I think the ISO is just
ISO
and the shutter speed is not preserved any detail there.
I like this as well. This is quite cool. It's like this slightly spooky child looking through the glass.
I'm not sure if I like the fact that he or she is out of focus completely, because there's not enough weird stuff on the window there.
It's kind of spooky. I think if it was like that. I quite like the out of focusness of it.
It looks like an old, a very old,
Yeah.
thing, from the 1800s or something.
There was something we were talking about the car window before, and using the frame of the whole window. So this is definitely doing that more, where you've got this frame is framing that person. But yeah, whether the choice could have been for the child to be in focus rather
for this composition, I feel like it needed to be,
or whether it was just all more in focus with because you can bring your shutter. This is a still moment, so the shutter can be much slower and the aperture can go up higher.
Yeah,
that might have worked.
The idea is really cool, though.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Because the focus is on those. I don't know what's the candle holders, and they're not like, if it was some weird
driver. I'm not quite sure what it is.
Yeah, if it was something that was like, I don't even know what it could be. That would make sense that the focus is on it. Like maybe some old toy, like an old doll that kind of maybe had the same expression as the child. That would make sense. That was the focus on that.
There's a nice mood to this.
There is a nice mood. It's quite abstract, which can be nice in some situations.
It's particularly because the child, it's quite spooky because the child's got eye contact, but it's out of focus. I do like the mood, but it's not quite sure. I'd love to see it with the child in focus more. See how that worked, because I do like the textures on this window. And if you're focusing on the child, you'd lose that somewhat. So I don't know. I'd have to see.
And it's like winter or something, that it's, maybe some frost on there or something, I don't know, or like some condensation on the glass, or just dirt, I don't know. Has this sort of rural feeling, which I quite like.
Timeless as well.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely moment. I'd be tempted to go in closer to.
I think that's the same child, isn't it?
Yeah.
I quite like, there's a lot of tension there. There's like, that's what they do when they're this age.
Oh, flipping heckers, excuse me. We'll be back on it. What we were saying before, with the brightness down here and up here, is distracting from what's going on here, which is the moment. So
I wonder if it's a horizontal composition, though.
That's what I like her hat, actually, the circle of hat. I think it's just too bright, maybe.
Right. I wonder if you shot like straight onto Mum, that would have worked better, and then the hat would have covered her eyes, and you would just put the hat and the lips.
It's tricky lighting because
it is tricky lighting,
right. But this is lovely. I really love the detail on. I don't know whether this comes through on the screen, but you can see the creases in her flesh, and I like the anonymity of the mum, the sort of privacy of the moment, and the intimacy of it between the two of them. But the lighting's tricky. Is it on that?
Yeah, I think composition is not quite there.
I would, because this is really gorgeous here. I'd go in closer. This, I mean, even right in close, right on the mouth and the boob, is lovely.
You shoot in there with a 50, so you could
quite
that close to like get closer. But I know you, Emma, you with your 24 would have been right in there.
My lens would have been right on the boob.
Pretty much.
Okay, so this is Mercy Haruna.
I think Mercy was watching earlier, so if you're still here, feel free to comment. Can I just say, I love that hair.
Oh my God, yeah, totally. Gorgeous hair.
Like, I think it's a lovely composition. I think it's like the mum is doing something, or I assume it's a mum. she's doing something and the kids are doing their thing, and it gives a glimpse into what their home looks like, with plants and things that clearly creative family, I would assume.
I think your exposure can come down here quite a lot, so that it's dark around the edge, and then because there's so much light from this light, artificial light on the kids, that it's really lighting them. And the light from the window is really lighting the mum. I love the two different mixed light sources. I wonder what it'd be look like in colour, actually.
I was going to say, I think it might actually look really cool.
Really cool in colour, because I think you get cool light here and warm light from the artificial light here, the different light temperatures, and then bring it down so that you're really just catching the light, catching the edges.
Yeah, and it would emphasize they're two different worlds.
Yeah, and the other thing for me, because it's like to emphasize that different lighting, the mum doing her thing, the kids doing her thing, I want this in the middle rather than just slightly off center. It might require moving a bit, because I'm not sure if you crop it whether it's gonna spoil this right hand side, but I want that in the middle.
You mean the separation?
Yeah, so this actually creates a physical line of separation between the two worlds, and I think in colour, the colour of the light would even emphasise that further. What they're doing emphasises it. It's a really cool moment.
Yeah, and I like to be super pedantic as well. Like, I would wait a little bit for the boys' heads to completely separate.
Yeah, or if they
a couple of frames.
I don't know. Yeah, they could be doing something slightly more with their hands. I don't know.
Or you could move slightly to the left.
If you slightly move to the left, the nose will come away from the other head as well,
and it'll be like a really nicely lit profile of
but you can definitely come down, your exposure can come down here, because the light, both light sources, even though they're totally different light sources, they're coming from the same angle, and they're hitting the subjects and picking up the edges of the subject, so you can bring the exposure right down, and then it would actually make it really intimate. And
I almost feel like if it was in colour, it would have this nice editorial feel to it.
Yeah, I think it's a really lovely
nice environmental portraits thing. Yeah, so actually, Marissa, if you have that picture, could you edit it in colour and post it in the group?
This is another one where the black and white for me feels like it's slightly pink, and I really like black and white to be black and white. I don't know if that's a personal thing. Black and white should be black and white. Yeah. I do like the plants and things on her table, but with this barrier here between the children and the mum's world, I feel like that needs to be sent to her. I don't know I feel like their worlds are taking up more of the same space now. And with this as well, so you're not, you've got the bright white of the window frame isn't touching the edges because you've got some frame around it. I really like this picture.
Yeah,
the shadows of these
so we can see that. Yeah, possibly. She said it looks lovely in color, so we'll see it. Right. So family moment here with everyone being really happy, and the light is gorgeous as well. That helps. I think like the person in the wheelchair does need to be in focus.
Yeah. So you either need to move yourself to get them more on a similar plane, or you need to get your aperture, a narrow aperture, or you need to move in so that the person on the wheelchair is more of a foreground, looking up at the two adults and the baby. But also the bit of the moment more is between these two, and she's pointing, and their limbs are actually merging. So
I would shoot it from that angle. They're both profiles.
Yeah, I think so, because then you'd see them looking at each other and see their profiles of them laughing, and you'd see the pointing finger.
Yeah, and again, like I would grab this shot. If I saw that, I would grab the shot and go, okay, now I'm gonna try and like I've got their lovely expressions. What else can I do to make it better?
So yeah, this you've got the expressions of these two, but the moment is here. So move yourself around and try and get another one.
And then I would might just try and take a picture of just the two with the baby, like shooting up to get laugh and faces, and then try and include all three.
Oh, sorry. There you go. Are they a couple? These two? They're parents?
I don't know.
I can't tell because there's no sort of physical contact between them.
Mm.
Her face is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You definitely change your settings.
Yeah.
Right.
So you've got some nice elements that can be used for framing here, but you're not quite square on. I feel like if you're using this, if you were really square to these steps, it's a lovely frame of her walking down them, but you're slightly on an angle.
There's lots of graphic elements here. Yes.
There's some really graphic elements, so use them graphically. Yeah, use them symmetrically and graphically, because these structured plants, you've got the fence and the panels and the
triangle
and things. So I think if you move yourself so that you're really square onto those elements, it will improve this frame. And you've also you've got nice dividing lines of this side of the plant, the steps, and that side of the plants, and all the people are in different parts of it.
Mm.
So you could use that to frame what's happening better. I think the dad needs to be more in focus here. He's falling out a bit. I mean, you're outside, so you should be able to.
I mean, the moment he hits the boy with the cat and chasing the ball, and the cat is running away from the ball, but it's not quite like it's not
quite a moment
happening.
Yeah.
So what I would do, I would just position myself, get the composition onto those, and just wait for things.
And wait for it to happen. Yeah.
And you don't have to chase it. You have your composition, and you just wait. And
it's a really nice location to get a nice composition because of these graphic elements. So straighten yourself up to use that, and then wait for the moment to happen.
So if they're playing with the ball, there's bound something, and then you just have to be in the right place, which that would be. And I would also maybe compose it so you don't see the buildings behind the fence, because they're kind of like distracting.
Yeah, and try and get this. I think this is probably a barbecue or something here. Try and lose that as well.
Yeah, but if you center yourself, you would probably lose that. Right, next one.
So I feel like the moment is you're focused on the hand, but the moment is behind the hand.
Yeah, because the daughter is helping, I think, her to put makeup on.
So either focus on.
I would
take the picture from where the little girl's head is, and have her hand putting the makeup on the mum. So you're doing it from the daughter's perspective, slightly looking up in the way that she would be feeling, looking up to an adult and doing it. Or again, you could take it from behind the mum and have a focus. You'd probably be able to get the little girl and the mum's face in the mirror both in focus as well if you had the right aperture.
Yeah, we could photograph the profile and just the hand of the girl and the mum and the lips, and then just a profile.
But at the moment you're focused on the hand, which isn't adding anything to the picture or the story.
I mean, it's a good advertising for Mac.
Yeah.
But not for the family, I think.
So this, I think, we've said again, or we've said before, I think the exposure can come down slightly. You're in a room, it doesn't matter if the room's dark, the light is coming onto the baby, which is where the action is.
And I would focus, I think I'll shoot above the baby, probably, or like over mum's shoulder.
And look down at it, because the light is coming onto the baby, so you don't need it to be quite as bright.
Because the dad, I assume
it's the edges.
The dad is not doing anything really.
Yeah. So you can use him as a framing element, maybe. But
but he's like, he doesn't need to be that much in the picture. Yeah, that's better. Or you could shoot over dad's shoulder, maybe, and get the profile of the mum.
Yeah.
That's another option. I think it's one of those, like, you grab this shot again and then you work on it.
When you could, I don't know whether because it's so bright that.
Yeah.
Definitely somewhere more like that, but then bring the exposure down.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
And I would work on trying to position myself so the mum's body is hiding the mess on the sofa there, like all the wires and things. They're quite distracting, the bright stuff. So I'll move myself so she blocks them somehow.
You can also position yourself on the other side of the mum, so the light's behind you, because get the light on the little baby's face is really lovely from that side.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Nina.
Yeah. I think we only have just Nina and Roxanne left, pretty sure.
Saskia.
And Saskia as well, yes.
I like old people pictures. I think they get forgotten a bit. So this is actually really nicely constructed in terms of, like, you know, you've got the edge of this picture, these elements, the colours are really nice. He's having a quiet moment. It's what you'd expect an old person to be doing.
He's quite I like his clothes. It's very very I don't know.
I mean, he's the focus of the picture. I don't know whether you can bring it. It's an aperture 3.2. I like seeing what's going on in the background because something is happening in the background. So and it's not distracting. I wonder what it would be like if it was more in focus. Nice color palette.
The color palette is really nice. It's like there's not moment. It's a very quiet picture, but it's a nice kind of portrait of him. But I do wonder if you could compose it slightly differently, where it's just about him.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, because you could. The one thing I don't like is this big block of a chair here. I think if you look, because the light's coming from the side really nicely. If you had him front on, you get some love, because old people have great character in their skin and their faces, and when you get light hitting from the side, it really brings out that character and the lines and things. And I think if you were looking at him front on,
I think for this composition, I would want the people in the background doing something crazy.
Yeah,
kind of like counteract, like have a story of he's sitting here quietly with his puzzle, and then they are story mental in the background.
It looks like they're making something or doing a jigsaw.
I mean, this is a nice picture for the family to have, obviously. Nina is saying, I have another one that's just him. The wall to his right is a huge bookshelf. Oh my goodness. So that would be nice.
But you could do it, I mean, if it's a portrait, you can do it as a portrait like that, you know. Isn't quite right. You don't have to shoot in landscape.
No, that's nice. Okay.
Or even if you pulled back actually and gave him a lot more space and had the bookcase, and the light is coming from this side, so if you exposed for the brightest part on his face, that the bookcase, perhaps, I don't know what the rest of the light's like in the room, but
I do like
the lights from there. Then you've got context of where he's sitting. Is it his house? Are the books his? He's sitting in his armchair next to his bookcase. And it's feeling quite dark and moody. Then I think rather than I like a portrait that's close in, but also an environmental portrait that's telling more about the context of the room and him and his life. So I don't know who it is and whether that's actually his room, but the bookcase could be incorporated in a nice way, especially if you're exposing the really bright part of his face and it becomes really moody. So the exposure is off on this. It's a 2.8 and you're close in on a 35, so you're getting a really thin slither of focus. So
this is on the close, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a very still moment. So bring your shutter speed down, put your aperture up, so you're getting more in focus. But the other thing I think here, the story is that the little tiny baby is being cuddled by an enormous toy dog. So you either need to, and the baby's not in the right part of the picture. It's kind of falling off the bottom of the thing, and big head of the dog, is it out of focus and taking up the majority of the picture? So
We don't need to see the head of the dog.
either
It's a
crop
dog.
off, either do it so you move down, that's not right there, because there's not enough of the baby below, but like focus on the baby and crop out the thing, or pull right back so that you're seeing the immense size of the cuddly toy and the little baby.
Yeah, I don't think we need to have the head to know that it's a big soft toy. We just need the arms of it, and like just you know,
or you pull back and incorporate the whole thing. The what's included here isn't quite the right elements. And also when you've got a moment like this, that obviously this little baby's asleep, so it's going to go on for ages, you need to get a moment where, because it's got that weird like half eye open thing which babies sometimes do, so you try and, you know, make sure you're getting properly shut eye.
Unless it's really hilarious,
Yeah.
then you would keep that way.
So it's gone. It's moved on.
Okay.
This feels a little bit more lifestyle to me, especially with the hat.
There's a whole video about that as well, so if anyone wants to know what we mean by what feels lifestyle and what feels documentary, like you
I mean, the baby's on it's been put on a folded blanket for its head. It's got a hat on. I don't know if it's on a change table or not, and the mum's kissing the baby for the camera, so it's not an authentic documentary moment. Even
if you didn't tell them to do that, she just did it for the camera. Yeah.
But the fact that baby's on this folded blanket and with the hat, it feels much more. You can get a really lovely moment of a mum kissing a baby at any point during a shoot, because they do it all the time. They're in love with their babies, so just wait for the moment, because it will happen 100 times. And equally on this one, you can pay attention to your edges, because the teeny weeny toes have been just cut off, which is
so you can almost like even
really
for this,
distracting.
you can move just slightly to the left, and then
or you take the leg off properly.
Yeah,
and have it like that. So.
Oh, before I forget, Nina, can you? I'm actually curious to see that portrait of that old gentleman with a bookcase, so maybe you can pop it in the group as well.
So, I can't tell what she's doing in this. Is she weaving or something?
I don't know. I can't tell.
Which to me says it's not quite right, because I can't see what she's doing. I can't tell what she's doing, and it looks like it's quite interesting as well, because she's an old lady. She's in the clothes that you'd expect an old person to be wearing, but I can't see what she's doing. And again, this is another thing where this window is really overexposed.
I would shoot from that side. I would shoot from
the
window.
Because what I was saying before, you know, old people and what she's doing with her hands, everything there, it's going to have some really nice character in her face and stuff. And I think you could get that if you've got from a different angle.
Yeah, I would like maybe even open the door and go in the garden and like see if I can. If there's space, I would totally step out and try and photograph from there.
Even if you're shooting from in front of her as well and looking up, so you can see the concentration on her face, and then you've got side lights on her as well, which is going to give all the contours and things. You're getting this really big patch of white overexposed frame in the frame here.
Yeah, you just taking a huge part of the picture, and it doesn't give us any information.
You're kind of shooting through something. I can't tell what you're shooting through. There's a door, I think, but you've got this. Is it a chair or something? Isn't adding to anything, and nor this dark bit here. It's not framing her that much. It's not
Nina saying I've submitted all the wrong ones. Everything you mentioned I have in another shot. Well, share it, come on. But that's good. You know, that means you've taken potentially the right shot. So share it, not in the comments, just pop it in the group, just as a separate post, so we can.
When you're shooting through doors and rooms, you've got to have something happening, and there's not anything happening here,
which is very.
It needs to be beautifully framed.
It's not going to be anything happening. So
yeah.
I would also make a picture of like her. I think you said that, just of her hands, maybe, because they will have.
I don't know what she's doing, but it looks interesting. Like even from this angle, she's silhouetted against this door here, but her face is merging with these leaves as well, which is distracting, so you can't really see the silhouette.
Stand right there and shoot up a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
but I'm sure it's a moment that's going to go on for ages, so there's lots of opportunity to take lots of other pictures, and it sounds like you have.
Yeah.
So just keep working around the scene. I can't see the settings on this, but this is out of focus.
Out of focus. It's super narrow.
Yeah. So when you're really close to something like that, you do not need a shallow aperture, because the closer you are, the more thrown out. It's going to be, the closer you are, the narrower the sliver of focus. So if you're looking for something to be out of focus in the background, you don't even need a low aperture, because it will automatically, because your plane crosses over, and the closer you are, the more obtuse the angle is of your focus plane. So it's going to take the thinnest sliver. And for something like this, you're so close up, you actually need quite a deep depth of field to get the hand, the finger, the adult finger, and all the little fingers in focus, because that's what you want, this whole bit in focus here.
Yeah. I also feel like it's overexposed, obviously.
It's overexposed.
But I can see that the child, as the baby's crying. So
yeah, same.
Above, and he's in profile, she's in profile.
It's very close in this. So you could definitely come back and see, or slightly change the angle if you wanted it, because it's a cute photograph of the baby holding the finger. I wouldn't have his crying face on the edge there. Change the positioning slightly. It can definitely go down in
but it also feels lifestyle. I will just say that, because they're clearly on a blanket. And then they get
shot again. Yeah,
it's a setup shot. So,
and this is a typical sort of shot that you'd get in lifestyle. It's like, it's a naked baby on a blanket, and you're focusing on a little thing. But again, it's like we were saying about, a mother will kiss a baby 100 times during a session,
and the baby will
grab a finger 100 times in a session. Because that's what babies do. So just wait until that moment happens. You don't need to set it up. If you're doing documentary, you don't need these blankets and the naked baby, because it will happen in real life.
And then if you want to shoot documentary, do not share obviously pictures like that anyway. So don't give the clients the wrong idea of what you're there to do. So
Roxanne gave us a PDF. We've had to cut out the pictures because there was a bit of nudity which we couldn't show. So we had to take a couple of pictures out, and one of them we've slightly cropped just to remove the bit that wouldn't be allowed.
Yeah. So blame Facebook.
Blame Facebook. Yeah.
And Roxanne shared that she is working on a project for her master's degree. That's about motherhood. So there's 3 pictures that she included.
It's about motherhood that you don't really see, which is basically family documentary photography that we're all doing, because it's capturing real life rather than posed moments. And
the mess and the chaos.
And the mess and everything that comes with real life, which is all about documentary and day in the life photography. That's what you're trying to capture. Mm-hmm. This is a lovely room. It's got full of character. I love it when I go to houses like this where they've got great colour, great light. And it's lived in. It's really nice kind of centre composition with the fireplace, and she's framed by the fireplace and the light patch that's on the fireplace. You've got a sort of 3 abstract and actual abstract framing of the light, but also the actual framing of the frame that's created by the fireplace. I'd be tempted to bring it down slightly more. This looks slightly overexposed. I'm sure you can bring the exposure down a bit on that, and you get nice shadows of these leaves and these stripes that are coming across here. Oh, sorry. The colours are really lovely. I feel like it's definitely, I mean, I can see the detail in the fireplace and in the wood on here. So it's obviously quite, and even on the carpet. So it's obviously quite a narrow aperture, but I suspect because of that, the shutter speed might be a bit low. And so the little girl doesn't quite look sharp. She's not quite sharp.
That it's just the bright patch behind her as well that's distracting. But I like that it's kind of like environmental portraits where you can feel the mess and you can read the story. Obviously, there's a lot of plastic. Like it's a lot of wood and plants, but then there's a lot of plastic stuff that comes with the kids and the wipes and everything.
I mean, the only thing for me, I think, what would be even better, especially in terms of the story you're trying to tell, at the moment she's standing there and she's engaging with the camera. Wait and see if she does something else, like if she's sitting on the table.
Yeah, sometimes they
climb on the table, because the story of your thesis is about the other side of motherhood. So, you know, that thing, you know, where the mum's distracted with something else and so the kid is doing something it shouldn't be doing, would be a nice and that would tell you a little bit more about the character of the child as well, I think. It's definitely a scene that has lots of potential though, because it's a really nice room.
And again, I think if it's your child, you have potential to like do
it again. Yeah.
That's typical.
Yeah.
I feel again like it feels like the wall is in focus and the child is not in focus here, which is annoying me because you can see all the detail.
Yeah, I think because it's so close. If it didn't have this bit of wall with the wood chip paper on, which is clearly in focus, it would almost feel like an old photograph, which is quite nice. But because that's in focus,
yeah,
somehow feels now it's all that slightly out of focus 70s feel to it. But again, so for me, as well as that focus being distracting here, I think these two bright white bits on the door are really distracting. Maybe, and as well, it's like, you know, a little girl who's crying. I don't know if she's been sent to the naughty corner or whether she's cross about something, so in a mood, or whether she doesn't want to go out and she's standing by the door. I don't know what the story is here. Pull back further down the hallway so she looks small in relation to the hallway, and see if you can tell a little bit more about why she's crying.
And I also feel like we often say shoot up, but here actually I would
go down, straight on, so that you're not getting these white blocks unless you're further back. Again, they're really overexposed, so I would take your exposure down somehow, with your ISO.
Like it would be quite a nice picture actually, because it's, you know, darker hallway with like shafts.
And the light coming from the door, light coming from front doors is always really nice actually. It picks up really nice features, but it's a really lovely color palette. The edit's really, really soft. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's also from that project. Is doing.
So this feels like more like a self-portrait.
More sort of it's to that discussion: what is documentary, what is not. This is documentary in the contemporary sense that it depicts something that actually does happen, but it's more intentional by the artist.
Yeah. I feel like we've had to very slightly crop the top of this picture up for Facebook nudity clauses. I'd love to know why she'd chosen to take her head off in this picture. Oh, sorry. Because she's nicely framed by this door in her position, and it's like, you know, she's got the tattoos and the Doc Martens, which is a nod to her character personality likes and pre-motherhood maybe.
I was gonna say it's pre-motherhood.
Yeah, and then you've got
the washing,
the mess of the washing, and that you can see the toilet paper and the kids stuff and the high chair a little bit and the gate and things. But I wonder whether I want to see the whole person.
Yeah.
Rather than just.
I mean, I quite like the anonymity of it, because it could be, and it's more conceptual. Like, obviously, you're not going to be standing naked in the hallway.
I definitely think, again, I think the exposure can come down on this though, because I really like this mixed lighting with the cool light from outside and the orange light from behind, which frames the body even more. But you can bring it down, bring that exposure down, and it will really focus on that person more. The fridge isn't doing so much for me on this side.
It's hard. The conceptual stuff is hard, but I think about what the interview we did with Elise about her self-portraits, and how I think it's worth, Roxanne, if you haven't watched that, maybe watch that interview, because Elise did quite a lot of more obvious stuff first, and then she moved into more feeling. And it's hard to do. I'm trying to sort of try my own self-portraits, and it's bloody hard. But maybe it needs to be less literal and more think about, like, how can you show the feeling of that sort of exasperation, and, you know, I want my old life back, but at the same time I can enjoy being a mother, and it's all the mixed feelings that all of us have as mothers, as parents.
Yeah.
Mercy's asking who's the photographer. It's Roxanne Ames. Right. Next one.
Saskia.
I love this moment. It's such a joyful family moment, and it doesn't, like, you don't always get that with all the children, which is so lovely.
Yeah, there's some technical things about it. I actually like the composition and the balance of where the people are in the frame. I'd possibly be tempted to tilt down a bit more, so you're losing this space at the top, which isn't doing much, and then you're kind of looking down on the hands, not where that's happening. And at the moment, because it's 3.5, dad is in focus, and these two where the action is happening here aren't quite in focus. So I don't know whether you can adjust your settings or your focus point. The other thing is, I'd say you've just gone past the moment here, so there's no tension. It's happened and they've flopped into the moment, which doesn't make you rest on a picture in the same way. It doesn't give that dynamism or tension. That if you've got just before the moment, it's like you hang on that for longer. So if you've got this where they're actually both diving towards and they're not quite there, you'd have so much more tension in their hands and their body. It would be more exciting to look at.
And again, like, this is a lovely picture to give to the client. Like, you totally, like, give that to the client because they would love it. But if you want to take it up and not just listen to what Emma is saying.
I think for this particular moment, I would go slightly upwards and go down on their hands more. But from this angle, I want the diving towards each other. Tension's really important.
So there's lots of opportunities, right?
Yeah. So this, I think you've got accidental motion blur here. I don't think it's been done intentionally. I quite like it.
I think the angle's not quite right.
But the angle's not quite right. And it's this whole thing where you've got this massive amount of bright white space on here again.
I think this is the kind of picture you want to shoot from the front of the car.
Yeah. Even if
this could be just as they are getting into their car seats, that you snap that from the door, or were you sitting next to them? I don't know.
Sorry, I'm trying to do something. Yeah, so that white is really distracting. I kind of like the motion in this because it is one of those frenetic moments between, I presume, siblings or maybe daughter and mum. I don't know, they're messing around. So that movement is quite nice, but it is overexposed, which is a fast moment at 250 and a shallow aperture. So you could, yeah, I feel like the exposure is it's too bright. And the angle's not quite right. I do like the motion in it because it's that feeling of freneticness, but somehow adjust the settings. So maybe put your aperture up so that you're not getting quite so overexposed, but you're still getting that slight motion, a frenzied feel. And careful of overexposed splits, and not necessary. It's not only is it overexposed, but it's not adding anything to the image. So
about the previous picture, Saskia is asking about like, will you not lose the expression from above? So I think Emma is not saying like shoot completely from above, like just angle the camera slightly
downwards.
So you
I'm saying so this particular moment, it's already happened to me. The moment has passed. So go down and look at the hands. This position, the moment was 3 seconds before as they're diving forwards, and that's the moment that you needed to catch for it to have a dynamic feel. And the hands of the two women, the girls, females, they need to be in focus because that's where the action's happening. His face is really lovely, but the actual action is the women, and I feel like you need that in focus or happening. And they have got really lovely expressions.
Okay.
Again, I mean, while that moment's happening, you could be shooting up more and see it happening, so you get a face up. But yeah, the depth of field is losing the girls, and they're the ones that have got the action.
Right.
Wow, that's high ISO.
Oh wow, 10,000. Which I think, like, do you really need to? Because at the window,
they're very close to the window, so you're getting a lot of residual light from the window, and it's
because of the position of both of them, so it hits both of their faces quite.
Yeah, especially because one's throwing their head back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's actually a bit overexposed, and again, it's incorporating this big white patch, which is distracting the eye. The eye is coming off the frame here to this brightest part of the frame, which is right on the edge of the frame. So rather than looking at this nice moment between them, you're looking over here. You're looking over here at the window.
I wonder if you could have stood like square to the wall, and then you would have gotten their profiles, both of them, with the really nice light.
If you'd have come square, you'd have got them against this, though, these shelves. I think you could shoot up to get them going onto the ceiling a bit more, round and up, maybe. Definitely need to lose this window, and I think your ISO needs to come down.
Yeah, I think it's
really grainy because of that. So
and it's okay if part of the room would be dark and the light is mainly on their faces. That's fine.
Yeah, when you're near a window, you're getting lovely, direct, close light onto their faces. Doesn't the whole, you don't need to be able to see everything, and you've got this beautiful directional light exposed for the brightest parts of their face, and even if the background's in the dark, that doesn't matter. You're actually capturing this moment of them, and artfully the rest of it becomes more background noise because it's dark.
This case saying it's one of those cases. There was a closet next to me to the right, so I couldn't square up.
I would go down and look up at them then, because they're merging with this side, and you've got this window. But even take your camera away from your face and hold it out and shoot it up, and try and get a shot from that angle as well. You don't just taking your camera away from your face and shooting it. You don't have to do that. Only that. You can also go like that, especially if you've got a flip camera. You've got a flip camera because you've got a Sony 7.3 A7 III. You can flip it and look at it while you're holding it out to the side. But the ISO is too high. So what happens when What did you do in post, Saskia? Did you brighten this in post, or did you increase the exposure, or is it just as shot?
I must say, while we're waiting for Saskia to respond, I quite like the books, and
I quite like the books
because it tells a story about who they are, and they're, it's good to incorporate them in some way, but maybe not for this moment.
So what happens when you're going high up with your ISO? I don't know if she's heard us ask a question or she's there. You get this weird. It's crunchy on. It's like really electronic looking on Sony.
She said
sorry?
This was as shot, she thinks.
As shot, okay. So you can go high with Sony if you need to. It is quite good at handling it. You need to reduce the noise because it's really crunchy and pixely and electronic looking. In this situation, you do not need to be that high. You've got bright light coming from the window. And what happens as well as it being crunchy, you get this weird pinky greeny effect in the shadows. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but
that's one thing that
we both shoot with the similar camera, the same camera, might be the same camera that I shoot with, and it has this horrible pinky greeny splodgy effect mixed in with the pixely. So you definitely need to do something with the noise. But
I feel like on the Sony,
that's solving it in post. Your ISO does not need to be this high. You need to be bring the ISO down. Aperture
is probably fine.
Yeah, it's probably fine actually. The shutter and the aperture is fine.
And also
you could bring your aperture up if you're shooting upwards at them, maybe. So
will actually solve the problem of the really bright window because it will make it less bright. But it's just such a lovely moment. We're just trying to find ways to make it work because it's such a beautiful, emotional moment between these two.
Let me just, even if I know you're cropping her foot off, but it's still.
Crop the hair. Don't crop the hair.
You can't take it off without getting this white.
So Saskia is saying, I had the ISO high from the moment before when they were further from the window. That makes sense. And that is when having those pre-programmable settings, so you can really quickly flip if you can, like having like a low ISO setting, a motion blur setting on the program wheel, so 1 and 2, will help with like quick switching. Right. Shall we move on? I think we said everything.
This again is another one where you've got this distracting overexposed shape here from the lampshade. The light on this face, the light on their face is gorgeous. And I love the over-exaggerated shadow because they're close to the light source. But the framing of it is including this incredibly distracting overexposed white blob. So you need to if I go like this, it's not the right framing. But it's much stronger like that. You need to have come round. If you come round a bit more, so you can, because you're cutting off some of that shadow, even like that, it's better because it's really lovely light on the face.
And lovely expression too.
But this is very distracting. And this background here is not doing anything. You don't need that. The interesting bit is this lovely big shadow in the face. You got anything to add?
No, you said it all.
This is another really high ISO that you don't need to be that high. If it's a dark room, go with the dark room.
You don't need to pretend that it's bright. It's not bright.
Because there's clearly light coming onto them from the window. The window's opposite their faces.
And it does fall. You can see it falls on their faces.
Yeah. So you need to be exposing for the brightest part of the important part of the image, not the bright. Yeah. So there's enough light.
Yeah.
You don't need.
And I would also like I don't like this framing. I think on the sofa, which is TV. I don't know, but I would literally just stand. I ask permission, depending on the client. So I'm just stand there and like shoot above.
Mhm.
That way, you'll bring all of them on the same focus plane, and then dad will be also in focus because right now he's
Right,
not.
yeah, he's out of focus.
Yeah.
And you've got like a teeny bit of the bookcase, a little bit of the radiator. I think if you're coming from top down, would be a really good moment to use that sort of angle.
But also, like, if you have a Sony, just like do that.
Yeah.
But it's like I think I want the dad in the picture. He's kind of separate, and the kids are climbing all over mum, which
Which is
thing.
quite typical.
And if you just shoot from above, I think it will be quite a nice. And wait maybe for more of a moment with the other child.
Yeah, because the top child is a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
In this moment, so I know again they're lying on the sofa. This is going to go on for a while. But this is so the problem with really high ISO with Sony, you start getting sort of fluffy. The dad's really fluffy, and that's kind of typical of the way it renders.
Yeah.
Is that high ISO? And you can see again this funny pinky greeny effect under these shadows up here and around here.
So you expose for the highlights. So as I'm saying, she exposes for the overall photo. So you can
it's quite a still moment. So you can. Yeah, I just think
basically embrace the shadows. Shadows are good. Shadows
are lovely.
Dimension.
They have mood and story and feel.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting switch because I've experienced that switch when you maybe used to shooting more lifestyle. You kind of want to pretend that everything nice and bright and shiny, and you're not really producing a lot of moody shots. And I definitely found that switch mentally hard. But once I did, that's quite nice because you can throw things into the dark if you need to.
Yeah.
Fine.
And if it's exposed well, you can bring up like their hair.
Yeah.
Bring the shadows up in their hair.
Yeah.
A little bit because that's quite dark. But you don't need the detail in the cushions around here. If that's thrown into darkness, it doesn't matter. And here, if anything, it's better. You don't want to see the radiator if that's in darkness. Great.
Right. And can I just say, I like to have they have the Obama book on their bookshelf.
Yeah. One thing I'd say, I like the body of this little girl here. I would be tempted to do a close-up of her, the way her body is curved around her parents. Yeah. From above there and kind of crop out. This is more of a literal photo of all of them. You could crop in to show that, like the way that children inhabit space without any without any sort of personal spatial awareness. They nestle into the smallest of spaces, and the closer the better. It's like a grounding sensory feeling. The closer that they can be to things is settling for them. So that's it would be a really nice picture of this body of this girl, the way she's just sort of pressed herself into the gap.
I think try and with some clients, I just ask them if you can stand on things because we stand on things. They say it's fine, and I would literally, depending on the relationship, like I literally stand in between their feet somewhere, like photograph from above.
So that sort of thing, where
Mercy's saying, by the way, that's my family. Oh,
gorgeous family. I love the way that she's pressing herself in. But I mean, if you've got more from above, you'd see more of an arch in her spine and stuff as well, and that jigsaw feeling of her in the gap.
Yeah. I think she's like one of those kids where you kind of want to watch them because they will do stuff that you want to photograph. She has quite a character, so it's like following them around and see what they do.
I think that's the last one.
I think we're done. Oh wow. I hope that was helpful, everyone. If you have any questions after, feel free to comment as well, and post those pictures that we asked in the group. Anything else we need to add, Emma?
I think so. Any more questions that come up that we can answer?
Not really. Well, not yet anyway. I'll just hang on for a couple of minutes. Saskia saying she did have a lot of character. Yeah, I think that's one of the, sometimes you kind of find the one child that does a lot of crazy things, and you kind of want to follow them because that's where the fun is.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not always a child. It's like you find a muse, don't you? You have a muse in your own family, and or not necessarily. It's not. Sometimes it's a person that attracts you. Sometimes it's certain things that you always look out for. Maybe
Yeah,
your abstract muse or physical muse. Look out for the person that it'll be a different photographer will be attracted to a different person perhaps, but look out for what's attracting you. Which person is the person that you think is going to bring interesting moments and character.
yeah. It reflects. Yeah, reflects on you as a photographer. Like, what do you find interesting? Like, what do you follow? Yes, people saying that was really good, and thank you. And I think we can wrap up. Thanks everyone for joining.
I have to go. I just looked at the time. I turned my phone off at the beginning, which means my school pickup alarm doesn't go off. So I'm really glad we've come to an end because it's actually 3:00 and I have to go.
Okay, well,
fortuitous. Thank goodness for that. I can't do anything without alarms set on my alarm. I just forget everything. So I'm just going to stop the live stream now. Bye everyone. Thank you for coming.
Bye.